It's yet another beautiful day live here at TAP TV, Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Nigeria, and I bring to you the newspaper review. My name is Achamaze Prosper, and I have here with me in the studio today Ms. Chidima. Ms. Chidima, how are you doing?
I'm very fine, thank you. And how are you?
I'm good, thank you very much, ma'am. As we can see, the month is almost running down, and we are in the last week of October. So, how did you see the beginning of this month to the last week of October, ma'am?
Honestly speaking, this month was one of the best. I mean, there was a lot of drama, a lot of exposing of people's secret, best friends slashing between best friends, even when it comes to politics, even our female footballers winning cups. And I think this month has been one of the best so far in 2025.
Well, that's good. Thank you about that, about giving us a little insight about your October, ma'am. So let's get into the business of the day, which is the newspaper review. On the first, we have The Guardian. Election year to test Nigeria's reform momentum, growth, recovery. This will be seen in page 6. Manufacturing endangered as sector sheds 18,935 jobs in half one. 2025. This should be seen in page 3. Rep raises alarm over terrorist threat to bomb National Assembly. This should be seen in page 4. Power tussle rocks APC as leaders split over Mutuwang's defection. This should be seen in page 6. Minister, The Guardian, partner on national reorientation. This should be seen in page 5. All right, over to you, Ms. Chidima. One of the headlines this morning is we are seeing the House of Rep raising alarm over a terrorist threat on the National Assembly. What's your take on this, ma'am?
All right, thank you so much for that, Mr. Prosper. Now, are the House of Reps scared to die? I mean, when we've been talking about insecurity for the longest, I don't see anybody say anything. All of them have been quiet, and now it has to do with them, and then they are suddenly talking about the fact that they are threatening them, that they want to bomb the place, they want to pie them, that they want the security to reinforce. Also, they know that the security of Nigeria has been cracked for a long time. They know that the security of Nigeria has not been doing what they are supposed to be doing for the longest. They know that the security now is supposed to be up and doing because it has to do with them. This is just a basic selfishness. I mean, when it comes to the citizens that voted you into the seat, everybody have been quiet, and now them that have been voted in to work and serve the citizens, now you're scared for your life. You see them going out with many convoy cars because of security, because they don't want them to carry them, kidnap them. But we, the citizens, we go to church and then they bomb the church and nobody is saying anything. Sometimes they don't even give the original figures of people that actually pie in that process. And now they've not even bombed the place. They're already saying that they are tracking us, and that if it continues like this, it's going to slow down their workforce. Is it the workforce that is the problem? Because I mean, they don't really even do things for the citizens anymore. What exactly have they actually brought in place? What exactly have they even implemented from all their sitting? Only this bombing, and then they're already shaking. Although I don't wish anybody bad, but if this is the form that security to date will be, at alert, then good and fine. Because I mean, it has come to their own case, and they suddenly want the security and up and doing just because it has to do with them.
All right, Mr. Dema, let's not dispute the fact that the National Assembly is a third arm of the government, in the sense that they are the legislative, and we cannot dispute the fact that they are very important in this country, because these people are representing our various constituencies in our various communities or around the country. So if the place is bombed or if the terrorist threat goes through, it will affect the country greatly, because that is the law where laws are being made. But on the other hand, we also say that why are they panicking? Because all along, citizens have been raising alarm because of the security issue in the country, and they neglected it. There's this phrase in Igbo, they say, "Ogodo, gerunwoke, goruribea." And then there another advertisement on one of these, how do I call it, herbal products, where they call Agnes one man, where they say Ogeru Onyobona Aka, meaning it will get to everybody in the sense of the security, right? It started from the grassroots. Now it has gotten to the National Assembly. Telling you, this is a statement that the security in this country is questionable, like in a large way, like it is questionable. If a threat can get through to the National Assembly, meaning that nobody is safe.
Nobody.
Meaning that the security, the newly appointed security advisor should do a good job, like they should try to tighten in the security in the country. So that's that about this threat on the National Assembly. And thank you about your analysis, Ms. Chidema. Over to the next newspaper, The Vanguard. Don't trust reform. Court waste Sanusi. Peter Side tells FG. This will be seen in page 5. Senate's NXITF takeover, declaration of war on workers. NLC says this will be seen in page 9. Enugu emerges likeliest state to survive without FAAC allocations. This will be seen in page 26. Lagos government, Oworo Shoki residents differ over demolition. This will be seen in page 8. I have been banned from US, Soyinka. This will be seen in page 8. We have received threats from terrorists to bomb National Assembly. Rep raises alarm. This will be seen in page 9. Rep to probe NFF over 25 million FIFA grants. This will be seen in page 30. All right, Mr. Dema. The big headline on this paper says, don't just reform, court waste. Sanusi tells the federal government. What's your take about this?
I totally agree with Sanusi on this. I mean, the government have been wasting a lot of money when it comes to the ministers, the appointments, and many other things that happen when it comes to the politicians. I mean, you see a politician, just one politician, going out with like 10 convoys, and not just 10 convoys. Those convoys now are being fueled, are being run by the government, money that they can actually use and do other things meaningful for the for the country. The ministers are too much. I mean, if the governor really needs, if the president really needs these ministers, if he can cut them short, like cut them and take the numbers of people that he feels are effective and can work with him, it's going to really help. Because tell me why every month they give all these politicians their clothes allowance, their transportation allowance, many other allowances, and sometimes these allowances they give them are approximately the same amount that a public servant, like a teacher working for government schools, it's like their salary for 6 years, 7 years, and then you're giving this person for 1 month's allowance. If they can cut these allowances, if they can cut most of these spendings that they do for the politicians, you see some of them traveling abroad almost every time. If they can cut those wastes and use the resources to do other meaningful things in Nigeria, I think it will go a long way. And I agree with him, because the ministers are just too much. Before, they used to be like 35 or 38, and then suddenly they're like 45 ministers, and these people will come with their own representative and they will have to be paid. So if they can cut them and use that money to do other things meaningful, I agree with Sanusi on this. It's going to reduce the waste we have here in Nigeria. All right,
thank you, brother, Ms. Chidema. So on my own part, I quietly agree with you on some of the issues, in the sense that most of these ministers are not relevant. Because why create new ministries when you are trying to build the economy of a country?
I mean, some of the even ministers, we don't even know their names.
Exactly. That's the thing, because once most of them have ministries that are not relevant, ministries that are supposed to be sub-ministries under a major ministry.
I think there's one in Imo State that is even Ministry of Entertainment.
That's it. Most of these ministries are just not supposed to be existing, in the sense that for an economy to grow, we're supposed to be cutting down on government expenditures. Because, okay, let's go to the fact of security. Imagine someone who is a minister who moves with about 10 convoys, cars, which is being fueled from the government's account. That's why they don't know the price of fuel.
Exactly.
That is when the masses complain, they tend to tell you the president or the president is working, because they don't feel the pain. They get wardrobe allowance, security allowance, ad hoc allowance, all whatnot allowances. And that is the money coming out from the masses. And we are talking about tax reform next year, come 2026. So you want to tell us that we, the citizens, okay, if we now pay these taxes now, then this is what they are, because definitely this is to just fund the lives of these persons, these ministers or these government workers. Like, let's take for example abroad. Most ministers stay in apartments.
Yes, of course.
Not live in exorbitant houses. Prime ministers, senators stay in apartments, and they don't move with more than 2 or 3 cars. But in this country, you see ministers, senators, or whatnot move with various convoys just for security, because they can't tighten up the security in the country. They are scared of their life. If the security of a country is well looked into and being tightened, I don't think that these persons are supposed to be moving with many cars or supposed to be getting allowances, because if you cut down on these allowances, most times you see that government work, or should I say government appointment, no longer becomes lucrative, and anybody who gets into there gets to work effectively. Because look at, let's say, okay, for instance, in the Senate or in House of Rep, the allowance, like you said, one of the things you said, that the allowance, one allowance is equal to 6 years or 7 years or 10 years salary of a teacher, of a normal worker in this country. That is why most times, allegedly, most of them do everything possible to get into these positions, because they know that what they are going into that place to gain is the money and all what's not. That's why most times you get to see that when most of them leave this country, they get to have EFCC financial crime cases abroad, whereby they go to buy houses, they go to get properties that, if the government decides to cut down on most of these expenses, these offices won't be lucrative, and it will create enough revenue for this country, and the economy of the country will boost. And not like the government should just cut down on these wages, and in fact, they should shut down some of the ministries. Like, some of the ministries are not relevant. They should just shut down most of these ministries. Thank you about the analysis, Michidema. Over to the next newspaper. Oyedele, despite fiscal expansion amid reforms, poverty is still a challenge. The issue be seen in page 18. US revokes Soyinka's visa, gives no reason for action. The issue be seen in page 10. Reports, Nigeria back on stable growth path, but pace remains inadequate. Says in last 15 months, real investment flows rebounded in energy, mineral resources, others urge more public sector reforms. This will be seen in page 18. Back to you, Ms. Chidema. One of the sub-headlines here reads, US revokes Soyinka's visa and gives no reason for this action. What's your take about this?
Why is Soyinka actually crying? I mean, earlier in 2019, when Trump was campaigning for presidency, he came out and said that if Trump wins, he's going to reap his green card, which he finally did because Trump won. And he came out to make it known that he did. Now, that's even an insult to the American country self as a whole. Now you've reaped it, and then you want to go and apply again. Do you think that they've forgotten? I don't know if he feels like the America is just like Nigeria, where we see bad things happening and then we close our eye, or does he think that America is like Nigeria, where we abuse our currency, we abuse some of our national identities and keep quiet? All these things, and yes, I agree with them. If they have to deny him of his visa, he should sit at home. Since in Nigeria a lot of bad things are happening and he's not saying anything about it, but he was so quick to talk about the things that he feels that Trump is doing there in the United States.
Yeah.
Now, when he has criticized Trump, and his own country is at a very bad shape. I mean, there is no good road, there is no electricity, there is no security, and he's not talking about it. But he was so quick to talk about America then. Now he has ripped it, and now he why is he looking for the visa for again? When he ripped it, then I thought he believed that his country will be good. Now, why is it looking for? Is it planning to fly? Is it planning to run? I'm so happy that the United States have agreed not to give him any visa. He should sit at home. He should try and make his own country better. So that's my opinion on it.
All right, thank you about that, Ms. Chidinma. So, all right, like you rightly said, one of the reasons why the US, although they didn't give any reasons, but we are speculating that one of the reasons could be because of his statements or saying he was going to tear his green card, and also him criticizing the Trump-led administration in the US. And currently he's saying that he is not going to reapply, that there is no need of him going to the US, and that he's good, he's okay in this country. Okay, thank you about your analysis, Ms. Chidinma. And that's that on the newspaper review for today. You can be a part of this by putting down your opinion in the comment section. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our various social media channels. I remain Achoamanze Prosper, and thank you, Ms. Chidinma, for the well-calculated analysis.
You're welcome.
Bye.